It's funny, people often ask, what was the genesis of sustainability itself? And I think two things stick in my mind. One was absolute panic when Earth life was going down, but a sense that we had a couple of projects, Green Pages, which is just about to be reissued 30 years on, and the Green Consumer Guide, and felt we'd raised some money for that, and therefore we ought to go ahead, thought about a limited company format, and then flying back from Brussels just had this word sustainability with a capitalized A pop into my brain. So as you said, I mean, for 2.5 years I think we were in my family home, and then the magic day when the Green Consumer Guide had done what it did and we could move out and have a grown-up proper office.
Yes, and you were always fantastic at coming up with terms. So we'd already had the green capitalists, and then obviously the green consumer was really the sustainability was extraordinary, because at the time, I mean, we all are rather used to that term now, but at the time it was something that was completely new to people.
I just remember the envelopes we would get.
Yes.
Survivability, sustainability.
Substantiability,
yes.
All sorts of sort of rather weird things. And in fact, the Green Pages turned out, which was the first book that we collaborated on, was almost like a sort of manual for teaching me about the environmental movement. And John obviously was already a guru in that area. And I learnt so much, because we got in touch with all the sort of key people who were doing things all about sort of looking at what businesses did and how they could benefit the environment, which was just a completely different way of thinking. And that in a way was the sort of core to the start of sustainability. When the Green Consumer Guide came out, it was incredible, because it had 11 print runs within the first few weeks. It went straight to the top of the bestseller list. It was in the non-fiction bestseller list for over a year, and ultimately went in 20 different countries, selling over 1 million copies worldwide. And I just thought that it was so way beyond any expectation that we had, that we were completely hit by that, and publicity-wise, in every respect, we were just completely taken aback.
Well, I remember the Financial Times 12 times in 3 months covering aspects of the book and responses to it. And I think I remember also the McDonalds trying to sue us, 3 different parts of ICI threatening to sue. So it was interesting, but at the same time, we did have companies queuing up and saying, what in God's name is going on here? We'd love to know more. And I think particularly we'd gone at brands. And I think that was really what
yes, no, it really caught the public imagination. And I mean, I spent an awful lot of time on morning television, TVAM with Richard and Judy, and even had a little mini TV series on the back of it. It was just very exciting in terms of all the different ways that it hit. McDonald's was horrendous, so that was could have blown us out the water.
We won. Just to pull it to a conclusion, I mean, I think in a way it's then worth thinking about what that triggered, because I think the green consumerism movement hit retailers as hard as it hit manufacturers and growers, and we saw then a growing appetite for life cycle assessment, environmental auditing. That in turn led to early environmental reporting, and then sustainability reporting along the GRI, Global Reporting Initiative model. And so I think there was a catalytic effect which was enormously powerful. But again, as you said, I don't think we planned for that. It just the way things went.
All along the way, the corporates, the business side, was absolutely key. And I think very central to our message was that market forces were going to be incredibly important for getting action, and in a way shifting people from thinking that everything was down to government and saying actually the role of business is absolutely key in this, and you don't have to be antagonistic to business. They are very much part of the solution rather than simply part of the problem.